Hey folks, we're back. So it's, yes, confirmed, Arctur and Awers, the team that we just saw win, going up against Elazer and uThermal. I think this is so cool though. Like, if Arctur and Awers were to win this series, obviously that would be, I think, an underdog story to say the least. They don't have the name recognition, they're not as well known, and frankly they're definitely not as good players when it comes to individual 1v1 Starcraft 2. But
right,
I don't know. Like I said, I actually truly believe anything can happen. The right amount of cheese, the good amount of throws. Like, you think about it, technically you get twice the chance to throw a 2v2.
Sure, yeah. I mean, depending on the maps, you can definitely have like one person ganged up on, and it just is automatically going to put the other person at disadvantage. I think it is a straight up macro game with like very little early game aggression or, you know, proxies. I will definitely give it to Elazer and uThermal, because it's not just about them having like the better like name to them and just being better 1v1. I think it's also an option of like they have two different races. They have Terran and Zerg that I think actually can really synergize early game, especially off each other. Okay, currently uThermal needs to relog, and then we'll be ready to go. And then there aren't too many maps, I think, in this map pool where you are kind of alone. They did a decent enough job of at least that, not just letting one person be thrown to the wolves. New co-op hero announcement tomorrow. Oh, pretty sure everyone knows what it is by now.
It's Daka. There's no way it's not. And everyone, like, for the screenshots, as soon as someone pointed out that you could see the DNA escape like the bodies that die, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's Daka. Like, no one else involved like collecting DNA in the entire game.
He looks so stupid.
I think my problem is, and I guess they do this with almost every single hero in Heroes of the Storm, but like, you had Daka from the campaign and he was kind of cool and he had like his very interesting abilities, and love him or hate him, it was at least it was a Starcraft Zerg themed unit. Then they took him to Heroes of the Storm and none of his abilities made any fucking sense over there. So I'm hoping that whatever they do for co-op, they don't inconsistently make weird decisions, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of sad there wasn't a Terran announced. There's no Zerg.
I know everyone was like hoping for Matt Horner, right? Like all the Reddit threads, all the Blizzard post threads, like everyone was saying like, let's hope it's Matt Horner type thing.
Yeah. I don't know how much I wanted it to be Matt Horner specifically, but sure.
You know, I didn't even really care or remember much about Matt Horner until I saw that girl cosplaying Matt Horner last year at BlizzCon. I was like, wait, what?
That made you care. Gotcha.
I'm like, I'm confused right now. Anyways, 3 Terrans and a Zerg, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 in a brand new best of 5. Spotting on the rightmost side of the map, we got the combination of Arctur and Awers, previous victors in the last series.
And in the middle left, as the TL Terran, it is uThermal, and the purple Zerg Elazer.
You know, Daka, or however you want to say it, it's an interesting character concept for co-op. What I would have loved, though, instead, was to have more of a, like, you know how Abathur doesn't have an actual hero on the field, it's like an ability-based commander?
Yeah.
I think having Zervas, or Zervan, or you know who, like the big primal Zerg they end up fighting is like the boss thing?
Yeah.
I think having him as like a commander would be super dope, and like as a playable thing, and then have just the race be primal Zerg, because then it's unique enough because it's primal Zerg mixed in with the fact that it's a couple of abilities and not some hero based thing.
Well, I think everyone's excited about the announcement now because they don't know who it is, because I think every single time there's been something that gives it away, either the teasers or literally something like data mined or like something like that. It is always like, well, what exactly is it? Like, what exactly do they do? So no, I think it's eventually going to be just kind of like why wouldn't there be literally every single like hero in the game, considering that StarCraft is going to be supported for, I mean, guaranteed another year, I guess, but realistically probably for like quite a few more years. It's going to be quite a few more co-op commanders. Also, I really like, some people say that Stukov is a Terran commander, and I just don't think he is.
I guess I can see why they would, though. It's like Terran themed buildings, but he plays a lot more like Zerg, and because he's creep dependent is why I would class him as a Zerg commander.
Yeah. So I hate when that's like kind of like counterpoint to adding another Terran, but whatever. I was going to buy Abathur. I guess I'm inherently biased.
By the way, well, we do have some aggression popping up at this game. Quick note, guys. Looks like Match Arena's come through, and they did make codes for us. SFC1. It's the coupon code used on the Match Arena site. Add $1 to the prize pool. Let's get it going.
Sounds like, you know, the UFC championship #1.
Well, I guess I can see that. I picked SFC because it's the Sunday Funday Cup. Like,
oh, okay. Well, it sounded like really legit when you.
I guess it's kind of like what we did the BTSL. It's like not really serious, but. Anyways, well, we've had a little bit of back and forth, and Reaper's been picking off SCVs and kind of being inconvenient for both sides. Ultimately, this isn't so bad, and what I'm most interested in is how the Zerg's going to play this out, right? Elazer's already a pretty fantastic player. uThermal's good in his own right too, but they have the different dynamic on their side. It's not two Terrans.
Yeah. I don't want to, like, there's the 2v2 meta isn't really, like, that figured out. It's not that practiced. There are people who definitely know more about it, though, like, who actually do play it. If there was a competitive scene, they would play competitively. But I still feel in my gut that, like, 2 different races is better than 2 of the same, even though some combinations are truly gruesome.
I feel like just having the extra options is always going to be better. Even though you could double down on things like Mothership Course, like we talked about in the previous series, I think just having more options is always better. But hey, we got to give some big love to Wardy. Just hosted us, a big host, after his stream's done. I hope you had a good time casting, dude. I'm sorry I didn't get to catch any of it this morning. Otherwise, I would have been in there trolling your chat. Yeah. You know I love you, dude. Thanks so much for the host.
I was in there. I watched a couple of those games.
Wow, is that why you weren't here? Wow, Zombie.
Yeah.
Wardy,
yeah,
I take back the thank you. You confirmed killing BaseTradeTV.
At 9 in the morning, that's right. That's why I wasn't here.
Okay, well, this harassment has been non-stop for team on the left side. This is TeamAmazingGaming.net, by the way, to be clear. And unfortunately, it's not done a lot of damage. It has certainly been super duper annoying, but it's allowed them to get away with their own expansions behind this.
Sure, it's good tactics. Just some scouting and some pressure while expanding behind it. I mean, these guys, Awers and Arctur, are both Grandmaster, so I'm pretty sure about that. And they're good players. It is just a difference of, like, good and pro.
I want to go back to the topic of the races for a moment here. If you got 2 Terrans on a team, in your point of view, if one plays mech and one plays bio, is that the same as having 2 races?
The same 2 races?
Like, if they're both Terran, but like one's playing mech, one's playing bio, is that the same as like Terran and Zerg on a team?
No. The same as having 2 Terrans on a team.
I see. My thing is, like, I almost want to say yes, it is different though, because the units you make and the playstyle with each is so different. Like, well, a bio Terran's likely not going to have 5 Ravens on the field, right?
Yeah, but this is getting like I understand your point. I just feel like it's kind of. From my perspective, it's like null and void. Like, it doesn't actually matter that much, because then we're getting into, like, you know, well, technically 2 Zergs, like one Zerg could play Mutiling Bling, and the other one could play Roaches. That's a vastly different style. Is that really 2 Zergs? And I'll be like, yeah, that's still 2 Zergs. That's why I kept on saying, like, even though I like 2 races, like 2 different races straight up better, it doesn't mean that 2 the same don't have their own, like, synergistic combinations, like mech and bio. Or air mech and bio.
This is just like, I hesitate to call this a rush, because it really isn't, but like, I think this is a brilliant move to use any sort of air harassment on this map in particular, with the airspace between the bases being as short as it is. Like, we got medevacs coming here to drop, you got a battlecruiser coming out in a second, Muta's on the way. I think everybody's playing to the map right now, which is brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, this is a very weird map in that it is so close by these, by air here. And the expansion process is also, like, I don't like it. You can bring on the rocks and expand both ways, actually, but no one's done that yet. Drop in the Zelnaga. Place to drop. Not really going to work out. Instantly defended. Not a problem. Elazer should see soon enough, after he cleans up the Raven or whatever medevac drops, that it is a battlecruiser out here.
I love the battlecruiser, but this again, it comes to, like, without Yamato cannon. I don't know what purpose it's meant to serve other than just be a really beefy threat. And if that's the case, that may be all he wants out of it, because they are once again prioritizing the armor upgrades very fast coming out. So, you know, this battlecruiser is gonna be sitting there with like 5-6 armor. Not a lot's gonna deal damage to that.
It's really not mutas. So the mutas do feel a little like if you can get to mass muta in 2v2, it is absolutely like hurtful, especially if you're not going up against a Protoss player who can kind of get that. At least one of them can get Mass Phoenix.
Tactical jumps the battlecruiser in, but the mutas just fly away from it after seeing it.
Yeah. I don't really know if Elazer should be continuing on with mutas anymore, though. Still, even though there's not like Mass Phoenix, there's not really Mass Air either. Battlecruiser doesn't really count as like a lot of air, just one big thing.
It's like
of air.
Not a lot of air yet.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing is like I think that it is going to be difficult for the Mass Muta to work after already getting so many killed, but that's where he's going. Like he's added 12 more Muta already, and he's certainly will able to control the bases.
I love this too because I saw that fusion core come down early and my brain said Liberator range. Use the map, Liberator range, right? But it's battlecruisers.
Well, now he's going. Oh, sorry.
Well, see, one of the really just cool things I'm now realizing that works well with the battlecruisers is, okay, it's Widow Mines for now, but if he wants to pump a Thor with this, that Thor's going to have all the armor upgrades too, and he's just going to have, like, incredibly tanky Terran units.
Right. I mean, I think the idea here is, like, a mech army, you're going to be slow to build, but eventually you're going to get something very, very powerful, and that's where I think the Zerg player would have trouble helping out. But the Zerg, the Elazer here is actually still upgrading his Lings, Banelings, and Mutas, and adding on Corruptors. It is kind of a choice to be made right now, though. Like, is he the one that's going to be taking care of the Mass Air Army? Is uThermal actually going to help him out, or is uThermal more worried about dealing with, like, a ground potential, like killing the other guy, Arctur in this case?
I'm actually really worried, yeah, because Corruptors, of course, will be very good against battlecruisers, but that also is a lot of supply, money, and gas that's going towards units that will not help against the other Terran player here, Arctur. But scouting this, he's probably best off just jumping out. Yeah, not a fight worth taking.
They're probably going to feel pretty contained for a while. I mean, even though Arctur is trying to get to a Marine army, he'll be able to push out eventually. Of course, he has uThermal to deal with. It's not just the Mutas. They're just the ones that are going to be really containing these guys.
Ooh, those Widow Mine hits were fantastic. uThermal's like, who makes Widow Mines in a TVT? I'm not used to this.
Right? Those seem like they were for catching the Mutas, so I hope uThermal's like, hey, by the way, there's Widow Mines there. Elazer is almost maxed out, by the way. Like, he will be quite soon. He's definitely taken a lot of bases. I mean, these guys have exploded in economy, more so than Arctur and Ars.
I actually love that he's adding Banelings into this too, instead of just going like pure mass air. Like, the battlecruisers are a threat, but not that big of one, all things considered. And if blue gets overrun here, those battlecruisers don't matter. So his allies on the wrong side of the map, the Banelings finish up their speed too, so they're rolling on in. Planetary's going to do what it can, but oh, so many Marines still in the background. Do live through this. Can they take on the combination of Corruptors, Mutas, and Marines?
Oh man, the Caustic Spray. Okay, that's actually not going to be enough. Arctur saving those Marines just saved the base here, even with uThermal's help.
He just straight up like 1v2. Those battlecruisers only just now arrived.
Well, almost. Like, the fact that ours had any amount of ground support and he had like like 6 Hellbats was actually really good against the Banelings.
Those Yamatos are great too, and he's going to blink back the battlecruisers. Unfortunately, he's not blinking them back to much safety. They're just kind of coming back to still the danger zone, but with the Marine support on the ground, he kills most of the Mutas and helps push off the Corruptors. Repairs are definitely in order.
Should get on top of that. So they survive, but they still are being outpaced, I believe, in the economy.
Yeah, this is where Elazer, I think, is macro. This is where him being a DreamHack champion starts kicking in, you know?
Yeah. They're going to be able to hold this base for a while longer, and they no longer have to deal with mass muted because Elazer does stop producing that. Realizing that mass corrupt is going to be a good way to go, and also getting to infestors. Maybe originally it was just for the Bioforce or catching any potential Vikings that would be on the way, but now with no parasites, it's to take control of the battlecruisers.
Yeah, did you see the clip Golden got posted on Reddit of his battlecruiser use handleage or whatever?
No.
He built like 40 spore crawlers in like a square block in the corner of the map. He just knurled the battlecruisers and teleported them to them.
That's pretty cool.
If anyone's got that link for the clip, by the way, please post it in chat. But I really like the idea of battlecruisers for a lot of reasons, but just like any, like if Protoss is going mass carriers, right, you still need support of some variety underneath this, and I don't think the dedication to pure battlecruiser is the right way to go about it.
So that Widow Mine, I think, was on like beneath a dead Widow Mine's corpse. Like, it looked really weird. Now I can't check. Yeah,
He does the amount of the base, by the way. Should be able to jump out, avoid conflict, heads back north. Oh god,
Yeah, that's a very large marine force and a very large battling force. I mean, the mass battle cruisers, they've gotten to a decent amount, but are they really that helpful?
Well, before, one of the great things they did was they sniped off all the medevacs right away with Yamatos, right? This time around, they don't do that in time. The planetary goes down. There's still plenty of banelings left over to roll through this. No parasites coming into play.
Yeah, some of them.
He's trying to focus fire down the infestors here so he can free up his battle cruisers. Luckily, battle cruisers don't deal much damage to other battle cruisers through auto attack, so they can take the hits, but this took out so many of them from the fight before it even began. He's going to try tactically jumping. He's almost missing these points. The Carpets are starting to kill some of them. Marines are cleaning up as well. I think the legs and banelings were just too much, though.
Yeah, the ground just could not be stopped. Leaving one player to defend against two, the ground is always tricky.
Elazer and uThermal will take the first game of the series. Got a couple of people in chat who have said this, by the way. I'm just going to kind of shout out Hat Simulator, saying 2v2s are my favorite thing to watch. If the viewership's there and the money's there, I mean, we're happy to keep running them, right? But right now, 2v2s are a rare thing because it's just... Honestly, we enjoy casting them too, but it's been, like, not hyped every time we've done them, so... Like, it's a Sunday, it's a decent time for Starcraft, and normally, like, if we're doing a 1v1, we already have, like, twice the viewership type, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I've got no complaints about 2v2s. It's just, it's really unfortunate. There's no way to justify doing it more often.
Yeah.
But let's get caught up on some subs here while they pick the names out. So I'm just going to go down the list. It's been a while, guys. I'm so sorry. Esna, thank you very much for 3 months. Thank you. Actually, I'm just going to say thank you to all the following. It's a blanket thank you. Woolander for coming back for 20 months as well. IPX74 hit us up with a half-year resub. BTLH for 12 months says thanks for a year of quality streaming. Kinriff and Uzurgibom. Damn, it's much harder to anagram Rifkin than Zombie Grub. What? Rifkin's easy. Frickin' Rifkin. Thank you, GoatBoy1975 for the 40-month resub. Castiana for 39 months. Insert witty comment here. Done. Matt D, I think it was one of the 2v2 hype guys earlier, and I think that should catch us up. But thank you again, just to be safe, to Glibert, Fiji Water, Jimmy Schmo, and anyone else we may have missed. Thank you guys so much. Love your faces.
Snowy Mesa.
Also, as stated, the codes are available now. We've had about a $50 bump to the prize pool since mentioning it. So do us a favor, guys. There's like 1,000 of you at least. There's 1,700 viewers, but there's got to be at least 1,000 of you who are willing to do this, and we only need 100, right? 100 people using 100 codes is $100 to the prize pool, and it doesn't cost you a thing. So please head on over to the Matcherino page, type !Matcherino, and use the code SFC1. Add just $1 to the prize pool. Of course, Zombie Grub and myself don't get paid for this. It's just the goodwill of you guys. So the $15 coming in from earlier CPP Maniac, thank you so much. You guys who watch ads or sub to the channel, you help make sure that we get paid for this to make it worth our while to keep doing events like it. So keep it up, guys. Hello, Blazer, little baby Blazer.
He's purring.
He's a little Bobby cat still.
Yeah, he's like 3 months, 4 months. And you just fart all the time. That's what he does. He gets on you and he's all cuddly, and then he gets up near your head and he just farts.
Just poots.
That's really gross. Okay, well, uThermal needs another minute.
Yeah, give him a moment to figure it out. Very interesting thread going on Twitter, by the way. I've only been catching parts of it over the last like day or so. Have you seen this? Where uThermal talked about the NA Lab Challenger stuff?
I did, yes.
Just feel like NA in Starcraft, there's like...
yeah.
There's very few people willing to commit hardcore.
Yeah, it's really true. I mean, you know, Ravi doing what he does best in defending the NA guys. There are certainly good points about why NA would be less fit, I suppose, to like take that risk and go full time, because the risk is greater. But I think there's some other things certainly to be said. I mean, I don't want to just be like, you know, NA's like obviously just weak-willed and lazy, which sometimes when I see people like vehemently disagree with usually Fear Dragon, because he's usually the one defending NA, I'm like, so what you're really trying to say is that, you know, we're all just lazy and don't do anything. Is that what you want
I gotta be honest, I feel that is the case for some though, right? And I don't want to take too hard of a stance against NA players, because like there are some, like Game Time has earned a lot of my respect this year, right, among some of the pros who have already been around for a while. But I feel when, and I'm not gonna name names here because this has happened to more than one person, so I'm really not talking about anyone specific with this, but when we offer people things like a show match where we're willing to work around their time frame and their schedule, and they're not willing to commit to that, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I guess you don't want money and you don't take this too seriously, because maybe you're lazy or maybe you just don't care, but like the point is you're turning away the opportunity to succeed.
I mean, there is that, but there is also like, yeah, maybe they don't take it as seriously because of all the other things we're talking about. And in that case, yeah, you wouldn't want to see a lot of people just being like, yeah, I don't want to risk that embarrassment or whatever of their thinking because I'm not like taking this super seriously. It's a whole talk show discussion, really, if you wanted to be getting into it. But as usual, I don't think Twitter is like the greatest place. But it's happening on Twitter.
Yeah. People are asking about Protec. Guys, we've been running 2v2 tournaments for years, and Protec has never once showed up. I am just of the opinion he's too much of a coward to compete in the public light, and he'd rather just trash talk on his own stream. So, you know, I don't think you're going to see Protec anytime soon. That being said, we are in game number 2 of a best of 5 with a lot of really legit, awesome, and cool dudes. And on the top side, we've got the team of Terrans, Awers, and Arctur.
The bottom position as the purple Zerg, it's a Elazer. With his teammates, the blue Terran, liquid uThermal.
And I don't want to dive too much into the topic because I really don't mean to like slander or offend or anything like that. But it sucks because I used to actually be a huge Protec fan. When I was getting into Starcraft, or Starcraft 2 specifically, it was 4GG, it was Dragon, and it was Protec. Those are the 3 streams I was watching. I don't usually talk about Protec so much anymore because he's kind of turned out to be not the best human being. And it sucks because a lot of people, every time we run these things, they always want to talk about it. And I just want to make it clear, guys, like, he's never once shown up, and I don't think he ever will. So I just hope that if we run more tournaments in the future, you guys stop asking, because it's just probably never going to happen.
Yeah. Certainly that's one of the people I was thinking of when I say they take 2v2, like that's like almost exclusively what they do, but yeah.
Well, Lily Canina was like that too. Lily Canina was actually, I think, at a point ranked #1 2v2 team in the world. Someone's gonna have to correct me, I'm probably wrong with it, but there was a guy who took 2v2 very seriously and still managed to find time to play 1v1 too, so I was always kind of impressed by that. You know, he'd be like that round of 8 1v1 player, but he was like an excellent 2v2 player. Which is someone I do wish was here today, but as we had speculated earlier in the cast, I think he's still on vacation, so he's not like actually have access to a computer type thing.
Oh, okay. It's always fun to see that guy.
Yeah, he's got even if he doesn't end up having the best like actual games play out, he usually has the most clever freaking tactics. But looks like getting a little bit aggressive here. Marine's going to be chasing around an Overlord or two while the Reapers do some damage.
Yes, that is the plan. Some decent early game harassment.
It's like, well, you could just hypothetically walk the Marines across, but I don't know why you'd do that. So yeah, to catch the Overlord in the middle of the map, that's actually fantastic. The Reapers spotted the second one too, so I wouldn't be surprised if they gave chase. And you know, normally these Marines would die to Lings coming out and hunting them down, but with the Reapers keeping them busy at home, that's the freedom to reach out and kill an Overlord.
Well, it seems like Awers and Arctur are definitely like more willing to do this like early game, mid game harassment, because last game they're also that Raven doing some damage and just like seem to be scouting and controlling the game fairly well. But then they chose, well, one of them, I guess, chose a battlecruiser strategy, which does take a lot longer to really feel like really powerful, like really mass battlecruiser before it's like, okay, this is absurd. And they're still taking a laser and uThermal to the late game. This is just kind of like mild forms of early game pressure, not like something that's all in. And I think that's, I said before, I think it's where Laser and uThermal win these 2v2s, and that happened last game.
I love the new Hellion skin, by the way. I still think the Road Warrior, like, Mad Max looking one is the best, but this, like, Trike skin is pretty cool. It kind of almost looks a bit more like a vulture.
Yeah. You know, originally I didn't really realize why they look different. I was like, something's off about these helmets.
And of course, this is the skin because phase 2 of the war chest has unlocked, guys. So players are earning, I think, 4 new skins with it. We have several war chest codes we can still give away. We don't have one planned for today, but maybe if we get some hype going, we can change that. They really want to kill that Overlord.
Yeah. Not gonna get it. Elazer was already mad about losing the first one.
I love you too. You just kind of like, it's such a simple thing to lose, and another one like this could be that really horrible supply block, but he goes for it.
Get him. Ah,
no
no
way. Auto turret maybe? He gets it. Oh, that's what dick. And he gets like a Hellion and a Marine too. Triple kill, kill.
Pretty good auto turret. Pretty good. Well, as I said, this is all some, like, you know, nice little micro, and yeah, they're expanding behind it. Again, they're good players, but are they really, in comparison to these guys, Elazer went pretty far into success last year, doing really well this year. uThermal, I guess this not really his banner year. I guess last year was a little bit better for him tournament-wise, but still obviously an awesome Terran player. Pro. Top Terran Pro. It's going to be a tough time, and I don't think that I was really, like, because we brought up, like, 2v2 is where there's a bunch of mixtures, right? Like, one person could get teamed up on and die, and can uThermal really, like, 1v2? I don't know. Maybe they have better ideas for, like, composition balance than these guys, but so far, like, that wasn't really the case. In fact, Battlecruiser seemed like even a bad move. Initially, Muda seemed like a bad move, too, but Elazer had just, like, exploded in economy, didn't matter.
I have a hard time, like, I want to agree with you wholly and entirely, but I have a hard time doing it because it's 2v2 and, like, I know all rules change, right? Like,
but it really, like, yeah, I agree. I feel like last game they did have this seemingly better idea. You know, use the 2v2 strategy of one person defends while the other person gets the unbeatable army, late game carriers, late game battlecruisers, late game broodlords, like whatever. But battlecruisers take even longer, I think, than carriers to really help out. And well, and there have been quite convinced, like you are, battlecruisers.
I could be wrong too, but I think battlecruisers are significantly more expensive than carriers too. No?
What are carriers? 250 or battlecruisers?
So like 400, 300.
Oh, okay, so 100 total.
Yeah, so it makes sense you get them faster because you get them more too. You can actually get a whole extra starport for the amount you save.
You have to build interceptors.
Yeah, I guess, but still, it's the initial upfront cost of the 400 getting it out.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, I don't know. There's actually there's only a couple of games that you have had the pleasure of casting 3 times, me twice, or you've seen Battlecruiser versus Carrier. So, you know, they're just not. It's not that common. Can't really determine which one's really better. But just for me, yeah, I think that Battlecruisers take even longer and don't even have that much of an effect for that late game. Like, you can't beat me now that I have late. Like, no, that doesn't actually work out that way. And we saw Elazer and uThermal just simply roll them over with macro basic units.
And by the way, to note, because we haven't really brought it up, it is mech, if that wasn't obvious for everybody coming out of ours. I like this choice for a couple of different reasons, and I think Blue Flame Hellions, or even just regular Hellions, will actually be significantly better fodder to have. It'll help deal with the Lings, obviously, keeping the bio player a little bit safer. It'll provide the splash damage to deal with the Marines too, but because Elazer's going for this Roach drop, I don't think anyone's expecting it, and this is going to hit the main of red, and all the army's out of position.
Elazer really making the bold moves. uThermal just kind of macroing and tagging along. Yeah, but Elazer did see that it was mech, and, you know, Roach drops are a very old-fashioned way of trying to deal with them, but they are effective.
Outdrifts will buy a little bit of time as the Vikings try very desperately to remove the drop overlords from the equation. Bio response too, but this is where uThermal makes his move. While the entire army's trying back to the main, he just storms in through the front. There's production out here that's going to get caught. There's a lot of SCVs that were mining past tents. And while the main has still not been cleaned up, this front base is getting a lot of damage done.
There's just so much more army for the Elazer and uThermal. They're storming through here, taking care of the tanks as well. The main's still not cleaned up. That's
GG. All right, 2-0 for Elazer and uThermal. TeamAmazingGaming.net, which is, by the way, probably not a real website, so don't go to it.
probably not.
But if we did go to it and there was something there, that would be amazing. All right, folks, it's time for another commercial break. Sit tight. We'll be back with Game 3 when we return. Hey, folks, we're back. We're going to be hopping into a map called Shadowed Jungle. It's got a kind of a cool name, and it's, I think, a interesting enough map. I'm not sure if we've seen this one yet today or not, though, because honestly, I don't remember the maps that we've played so far, but just getting everyone here into the lobby as we speak. Thank you for sticking through the commercials, though. Those who do, we really appreciate it. If you guys have Prime, then you're not worrying about seeing commercials whatsoever. And if you've got a Prime sub and it's coming off cooldown, consider checking it. If it's available, throw it our way. We'd love it. We'd appreciate it. But if you guys want a truly fun and free way, so fun, to hit that follow button on the channel, it's like better than watching paint dry. It's better than watching grass grow. Hit that follow button. Give it a shot. See how it feels.
Well, those are 2 correct statements, which is better than all of that. Good one.
Go for like, Tom Sawyer approach of like, boy, this fence painting sure is fun. You should try it sometime.
Yeah.
2v2 is interesting as fuck to watch. It says XL95 in chat. Again, I don't disagree. I think 2v2 is a lot of fun. It's a good break from the monotonous standard that is the 1v1s. But again, unless more people are passionate like you and more vocal like you, sir, you're not going to keep seeing tournaments like this. But I wish it was a more regular thing. I wish it was more viable to host these on the regular.
You kind of sounded like the PSA for like public service, public television. There we go. From viewers like you.
Oh. Well, for those who don't know, by the way, today was supposed to be a 2v2 tournament one way or the other. It was going to be a Korean one, but that was taken over by something else that was going on. It's just a whole scheduling nightmare because it all popped up last moment. So we did want to put this one on for you guys just to make something happen today, and I'm glad to see you guys are so into it. There's the vocal passion in chat. But we also have some dollars raining in on the prize pool. 30 more dollars added by Kyle Kubik. Takes the top donator slot above Diet Soda earlier with his $26 contribution. We're now up to $213 raised in prizing today. Woo! Everybody give yourselves a pat on the back. Unless you haven't used that code yet, SFC1. Use them all up. If for no other reason, then shut me up so I stop talking about it. Get on the Match Arena page by going to !Match Arena in chat, but we have some shenanigans afoot for what is possibly their last stand here in game number 3 on their last life in the top side, but not entirely. It's the combination of Arctur and Awers. But they're also a little bit on the bottom.
A little bit. And in the bottom right has the Teal Terran. It's Liquid uThermal. Bottom left, Red Zerg, Elazer. We did see this map because they had proxied racks there before, but not this many.
Yeah, it was only one of them that had done it too, so this is a little more committed, and I'm wondering if the plan is to bully one side. Like, you have to. I feel like if you go 1-1, you're gonna have a bad time. But this Overlord, this is so funny. It's gonna scout this proxy barracks coming down, but it's like the wrong one. This it's almost like a bait barracks, right? Because now if drones are pulled or SCVs come out early, like, they're gonna go kill this barracks, not the real threat of 3 of them down here.
That's true. I mean, it gives them a heads up to be a little defensive, and Elazer already opened up with a spawning pool first. uThermal opening up here with 2 more barracks. So, I mean, they kind of already had a very good game set up against any type of cheese. The fact that they scouted something but not everything just makes it even more opportunistic that they're going to be defensive, and then they're going to eventually tell, like, oh, that's more than just a couple of Reapers, and realize what's up. But I think it's already good for them.
I love the scouting too, by the way. It should have been obvious that the Terran was on the right side, not the left, because of the Overlord scouting earlier, but giving away a Reaper early on like this is not good. A couple extra shots coming in, though. It's so cool watching uThermal's micro, by the way, almost take on 2 Reapers with 1. But yeah, it is 2v1, and this gang up might just be a little bit too much.
Well, it's going to be hard for uThermal. He'll eventually have some support, though. A Elazer can go find the barracks and roaches.
That's the problem, though, right? Like, it's going to be roaches, so the support's kind of slow coming. So the clock is ticking. Like, does uThermal take too much damage before the roaches come here to potentially clean this up? And I say potentially because it's not even guaranteed to do so.
Yeah, uThermal might just be better off. Well, I think he has to stick it out and defend and try, but he will have to eventually just lift. And the question will be, will this be enough damage, considering that Elazer has not been touched?
Well, the roaches are on top of the barracks, but yeah, everything's gotten lifted. The ACVs are pretty much all dead at this point. One remains. Not impossible for uThermal to recover from this. Like there's a huge thing to be said about like Elazer throwing him a couple hundred minerals to start rebuilding with, but things are looking grim because now the Terran are going to start focusing their attention over here on Elazer, who has roaches over here and Ravagers over here, but not in his main.
Oh, not too problematic so far. If this was 9 Reapers already here, well, then that's where it's problems. And in fact, there's a lot more coming from the natural. But even that 5 extra seconds, Elazer's able to get a couple more roaches back in the main, and he has stopped the production. Reapers go back to the main of Elazer, like, they're trying to get a lot of damage done. They got, it looks to be quite a few drones.
Yeah, worker count now down to 6 for Elazer. I mean, this is looking so good for our Terran. Like, I really think they should be able to snowball off this, right? uThermal has kind of sneakily landed his barracks, producing more Reapers, though.
He built 3 more Reapers, and that's exactly what he did. Like, this is his best shot. Go across the map and stop them from mining.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if you can cut their mineral lines out from underneath them, you'll have a much better chance of trying to just simply fend this off. Elazer will, like, ideally, eventually fend it off on his own, right? So, yeah. If he gets in here and kills some SCVs, that'll be fantastic. And there's actually no defense at home. There's an empty bunker. Yeah,
an empty bunker. Just to scare the roaches as they come across the map, I guess. The roaches of Elazer would be a little careful since the Cyclone had popped out, but the rest of the Reapers went to defend, not support this, so his roach army absolutely takes on, I think it was Awers or someone. Oh, it was Arcturs. It still does, even with 2 Cyclones.
Blue Terran and Blue Terran.
Yeah, exactly. That really threw me off. But the Reapers lived, they just dodged out of the way. It's like, uThermal's barracks are found, but that was really literally all their use. 3 Reapers. Doesn't matter if they're found or not.
For people in chat, by the way, asking about the Slavation army, if you want to see BC and Nurchio playing, BC streaming his matches. We're not currently casting them, nor are we holding them, at the moment at least.
I think Elazer might just be able to do it. Basically, I mean, not really by himself. Those Reapers were helpful, but a lot by himself.
If the Banshee was already out, I think this is a much easier hold. He's going to do everything he can to hold on to get this Banshee out.
Yeah. Fortunately, there's not much room to repair. The roach is right there. He moved.
While this goes on, though, Purple could be sending money his way, and he could still keep trying to produce. I think Elazer that's recovered from that. I'm surprised, too, by the way. He's recovered from that 6 drone count, but this is amazing play out of Elazer. Like, their team name is AmazingGaming.net. You guys are seeing why. Like, he's possibly 1v2ing after uThermal's death. Like, he really didn't go to help uThermal, and I think it's probably better that he didn't. Like, keeping himself alive, he knew he'd have the power to, like, take a fight afterwards. And while the Banshee is going to be a problem, he has successfully crippled at least one of his opponents, so uThermal slowly recovering his opponent now with no workers either. It is like a 1v1 situation, Elazer versus ours.
Exactly, he made it into a 1v1. It's really unfortunate, though, that these Banshees ended up popping out for both parties. Cycles on the front, too. Elazer realizing that had he just retreated, loses all the roaches, or a lot of them anyway. Wanted to try and at least do damage. Not possible, is going to lose a lot of his army. But it's only Banshee harassment now. The Reapers have been cleaned up. Yeah, only 3 still alive for ours. So he can get back to droning and just defending his own bases.
This is crazy, man. uThermal, by the way, because there's nothing else he can really be doing right now. He's just scouting with the barracks, because why not? Maybe build a unit in the back line. I am thoroughly tickled pink with the way this has gone. Monty in chat comes and says, is this a real tournament? Yeah, dude, exclamation mark brackets. So you can take a look at what's going on. We actually have some of the semifinals almost ready to go. The winner of this goes on to fight against the Abusement Park. I don't even know which team that is. I think that's Hellraiser and Avocado? No. I don't know who that is. We'll have to ask the admin. But the other side of the bracket is Optimus and Soul, so 2 fantastic Terrans versus what is likely going to be Beastie and Nurchio. But yo, oh man, Beastie Nurchio versus like a Laser uThermal would be the sickest finals. That would be like every TVZ I could ever hope happening twice at the same time.
Would be very interesting. Arctur and Awers managed to give us a pretty interesting last game, but I still kind of feel like this is going to be their last game. Elazer is the one that's left to his own, and I have full confidence in him.
Well, so there's a weird dynamic here where Arctur maybe would be better off not even trying to get his own units, but just funneling all the money to Awers, who has production up. The fact that he took so long to actually build his production and rebuild his production actually gave Elazer all the time in the world to breathe with, right? Like, it's barely Banshee harass. It's really not much he's had to worry about. And frankly, uThermal at this point is probably just dropping mules and sending money. Like, he's got 000 because he's given all of his money to Elazer.
Well, that might be a better use of it.
I think it absolutely is. I mean, what else can you do? At this point, I would also say, like, maybe grab onto unit control. Say, like, Elazer, give me control. Like, use your roaches or micro them or something. Like, uThermal could turn this into, like, an Archon mode match.
He could. I mean, he could also... Unfortunately, there's not too many hidden spots. This map is kind of like... It's very narrow, so there's not a high chance he ever gets that secret mining base again. But if he does, then maybe that's when he starts rebuilding his own very, very small army.
I'm excited to see whether this Nidus Storm will work out or not, by the way, because again, it's going to be like Elazer has a really cool idea right now where he's trying to all-in one player to remove him from the equation, so he's only having to fight 1v1 after. And I think Elazer is a good enough player. He could 1v1 either of these guys, no problem, even if he's at a weird deficit. But uThermal's going to be providing the vision for this Nidus Worm, because he's got a barracks floating over here and a barracks floating over here, and for both of these players they drove off the overlords, but not the barracks. So Nidus Worm coming down directly on top of the starport. This may have been the wrong base to hit the Nidus Worm, though. This is some pretty good defense. Widow Mines and Banshees and turrets.
He's gonna try.
Oh, grenades! He doesn't get the transfuses though. The Nidus Worm dies.
Yeah, that was some pretty important grenades right there. The crowd control was quite key.
5 Banshees, too much.
Oh man, the Banshee, the Mass Banshee might just be the way to go. And he also got Banshee speed, I think. So, Awers might be winning this game.
No, there's no Banshee speed.
Oh, he started it, but I guess he canceled it.
Oh man, this looks so promising for Elazer for a while too. Like, I actually thought these guys were screwed, but maybe, just maybe, they're gonna get a point on the board with these Banshees.
I mean, maybe if Elazer hadn't gone for an offensive tactic either. Like, if he had just droned up, played defensive around 4 crawlers, the Banshees would be responded to by, you know, Hydras or Aspire.
Okay, he clears out the mineral line though, right? Like, I love what's going on with this game because uThermal has started mining, by the way. The other Nidus Storm pops out on the other side of the map. It is met with the Liberators and the Banshees, so unfortunately will not have lasting damage here, but while this goes on, uThermal, like, is kind of cheeky mining right under his enemies' noses, and they have no idea. Like,
yeah,
one Banshee could deny all of this. And he's just sending his money off, by the way. He's feeding Elazer. It's clear as day because he's giving all the money over.
Yeah, it's not much, but I guess it's something. And again, there's not much point in him trying to, like, rebuild barracks, as it's not really a secret base, especially with Banshees flying around. Like, they're gonna see it eventually.
Hiding in plain sight, dude. You hear this phrase all the time, and you never really know what it means until you see it happen. And, like, that's exactly what uThermal's doing. Once again, responding to the Nidus Worm properly. Wait, how are those attacking the Nidus Worm? Did you see that?
Oh.
Were they repairing something? What was going on with the
SCVs? They were
repairing
the
Oh, the Liberators probably. Yeah, I was like, it looked like they were attacking the Nidus Worm before it hatched. I'm like, or I'm burrowed.
No, not crazy.
By the way, here comes the Hyperflight rotors.
Okay, I'm like 100% sure he had started it and then canceled it probably when he saw the Nidus Worm come down, so that's going to be really annoying to deal with. But if Elazer had been pure defensive this entire time, he would have already had like a Hydralisk Den, or maybe he would have scouted this with that Overseer and saw, you know, got an Aspire. Despite
the failed Niduses, you know, part of what you put on those Niduses are a lot of queens, so he's got anti-air. That's not the problem for now, at least.
Yeah, for now.
By the way, where's Zag? If you're still here, you threw $20 into the prize pool, guys. So he's got some shipping back, so he has some money in his wallet, jingling, jangling. Unremitting throws in $7 to the prize pool as well. Thank you guys for your contributions. Now up to $270 raised in prize money.
Good. Definitely some roach giveaways here. Elazer actually going to tap out.
Oh, GG. They actually do it. I mean, the second they took uThermal out of the game, their chances to win increased drastically. But watching Elazer still, like, fight tooth and nail, like, he seriously almost made that happen.
He did. I really wonder had he not chosen to go for that Nidus Storm, or the Nidus Storm had gone better. Either or. I think that's maybe a win.
Yeah, there's some very cool hypotheticals in this for sure, but all right, well, we'll just wait for the map pick for the next game. I don't know. I hope we've used up all the codes at this point, guys, but if you haven't yet, let me just show you how this works on Match Arena, because maybe you've never done it before while we wait for the map. So here we go, is what it looks like when you go to the Match Arena page. Nothing crazy. You go to the top right, you sign in with your Twitch account. Okay, this is for me, it's for BaseTradeTV. Scroll down here, contribute. If you type in the code SFC1, sorry, I was tabbed out, SFC1, it should add $1 without costing you anything. You just said donate, boom, easy peasy. You didn't have to enter any payment information. You didn't have to give them any credit card information. All you had to do is use the code SFC1. It added $1 to the prize pool. So Match Arena is kind enough to provide us with 100 of these whenever we do events with them, guys. I want to make sure that all 100 codes get used. Every single $1 to help the players get some more cash.
Alright, the next map's going to be Shrines of Lazul. Which is, I don't know what the hell Lazul is. Pretty sure I've never heard that in Starcraft.
I'm sure it's got some really dumb lore. I guess Nurture and everyone was expecting these guys to lose much quicker, but nope. They're still fighting.
Yeah. Just demo in here. Alright, what does Shrines of Lazul even look like?
We definitely, or at least I cast a game on here earlier.
I don't remember if I did. I don't think so. I don't remember if I played it. I don't think I played this one either. Like, not that I play a lot of 2v2s, but you know, 2v2 maps don't usually rotate very often, so I can usually recognize them.
A lot of them get stuck in. There was I can't remember the name of it. Some ravine map. It had like a gold base you could lift to from your main, and like it was in there for like 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're ready whenever the players are, though, to get rocking and rolling into this.
Well, we had a couple Twitch Prime subs.
Actually, yeah, and a couple before this too. So thank you everybody for hopping on that Prime hype train, by the way. We might not be getting a lot of donations for today ourselves because we want the players to get some cash, but it's nice getting this Prime sub. So I know Esna was a resub with a Prime sub. Thank you very much for that. Lander came back for 20 months as well. And then we had Chaos Stuffy, or Chaos Foofy. Chaos Foofy hit us up with the Prime sub. Green Tea Anime just joined us with the Prime sub. Whoa, we got the Prime sub train going in now. Ward Sylvania with a Prime sub. Dr. Addition, or Dradition, hits us up with a Prime sub. And then Aldolf Hootler.
It really tickled, didn't it?
I'm sorry, just like recent events and dumb shit that's happened in the world. That's a great fucking hilarious name. Thank you, Aldolf Hootler, for the sub. I don't know who you are, but I appreciate it.
I recognized it. I gave it like a nod of respect, and then you just were like so tickled.
It wasn't until I said it out loud. I didn't get it. Like I saw the name. I was like, okay, this guy likes owls.
Is that the first thing you thought?
Yeah, out of Hootler, like,
Okay, all right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting into game number 4. Things are 2-1 in the favor of our, I guess, more well-known, recognized pros, but spawning in the bottom side, it's Elazer with his teammate, uThermal, up 2-1.
And Liz is cheesing. And the top right, kind of, it's Purple Terran Awers, and his teammates, the Blue Terran Arctur.
So you weren't here earlier today when we were on this map. This is the first map of the day, and this is where these guys got hit with a double pylon, double mothership core, double stalker attack, and held it surprisingly well, all things considered, not seeing such a whammy coming their way. On top of this, they had a gas steal. Like it was as bad as it could probably been for a setup, but they still held and defended. The beauty on this map, though, this is where like uThermal comes in with some Reapers, Elazer comes in with early Lings, is you can gang up on somebody pretty easily. The idea is you both just focus on one, and these bases are not connected. It's actually really difficult to help your ally defend on this one. So this is where the best defense is a good offense, and if these guys aren't attacking, Awers and Arctur, then Elazer and uThermal are probably going to get away with a lot of damage. Oh, it's not even Lings, it's Roaches.
Yeah,
it's
it should be
push.
Roaches. I mean, to go just an early Ling attack versus Terran is not usually going to be too effective. And they're both Terran, so. But I like the Roach push combined with the triple rocks from uThermal.
Yeah, actually, I love this too, because the Ravagers, if nothing else, will break down the door. If the Overlord were to be picked off, the Reapers could provide the high ground vision from uThermal. I think there's a lot of cool cleverness to it. But people are reporting in chat that the code SFC has been used up, and if that's the case, can I get a hell to the yeah? That's $100 raised thanks to you guys for the prize pool. Also,
Prime sub.
Everybody's Twitch Prime is available today, I guess. Holy crap. You know, normally we don't do this during games anymore, but fuck it. We got a second here before they attack, right? Not Restek. Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. The Andy, or the Forndy. Thank you for the Prime sub. And then J Bullfrog Gaming. Thank you for your Prime sub.
Very cool. Alright, so we have Triple Rex Reaper with Roaches coming at ours first. Any successful delay on this factory is actually quite crucial. Double Cyclone right off the bat is the safest thing this guy could do. Now he sees the Ravagers.
People say the Prime subs are coming in for 2v2. Yo, if our Prime subs confirm that they all just trained on in for 2v2s, maybe, just maybe, we'll host more of these then. But we have at least one more 2v2 tournament before the month is up, and we'll talk about that after. For now, we watch the Ravagers try and break this. The grenades from the Reapers are keeping the SCVs off of repairing. I've never seen this combination before, but it's so cool.
It's almost worked. Two Cyclones do pop out at the same time. Reapers decided to go try their luck somewhere else. Arctur only went for one Cyclone. That looks a bit more appealing. But currently, I mean, it's actually kind of scary when the attacking players are kind of deciding between which person to go to. That gives each person a lot of time to maybe get their defenses up, so it looks a little bit worse for them. But I think Elazer and uThermal still have a lot of damage to do.
If that Banshee actually comes out, though, this is going to look similar to last game in terms of like a clutch defense. And as I mentioned before, these guys are, I don't know if they're just 2v2 pros. I know Larry has played 2v2s enough that, you know, he's won a tournament in the past. We've had other people like that come in. But Arctur, ours, uThermal, like, these are all guys who play 1v1s. Like, you would expect to see, I don't know, confusion. Not used to dealing with these situations.
Wait, for Arctur and ours?
For anybody, really. The point is that they're all 1v1 pros, but they're handling this so well.
Yeah. Well, actually, because, you know, consider the games that they lost, it was the early and mid game that they were the ones that had like, control over harassment. Like, the early game was actually pretty solid, and it just continues to be.
So the Banshee does come out, and this guarantees a defense for now. But the problem is ours still lost a lot of SCVs. Those Reapers managed to get in here while we're chasing the Roaches down in the middle of the map, so he's left with a handful of workers to actually manage here.
Well, Elazer was stuck at 14 just from the build that he chose, so that's really not so bad. uThermal's the only one here who has this economy that should take use of a command center, and he is building one. In fact, it's almost done at the, not as natural at his third, so it's like a little bit hidden. I kind of like that in case the counterattack was even more swift or bigger. It looks like his command center will be able to finish up and even like mine a lot.
I love that he does this back here, not just as Nascetta, but I think he doesn't want to come across like as a manor mule. He like genuinely wants to repair with this mule.
Yeah, right. There's some pretty cool micro coming out here.
Banshee does get picked off though. That was a really pivotal part of this attack.
It was. Elazer has some room to go before he really feels comfortable again in a macro game. He's only at 16 drones, but he starts a lair on one base. He's gonna, I think, really be depending on uThermal to get him to this mid game safely, and then maybe you can really bring it back. It's unnecessary.
Those are such like FU widow mines, but I love it. He still gets the Overlord kill, and every bit hurts Elazer more than anyone else in this game.
Yeah.
But
it's interesting. Ours is going for an armory. I don't really know if Hellbats are gonna be able to help out this early, because remember
I think it's
there's
for
only one
weapon
person
upgrades.
expanded.
If they can continue with like Hellions and Cyclones especially, I think weapon upgrades are in order.
That's a good point. It still is weird to see upgrades off of people that are going only on one base, but if you're gonna go mass Cyclone.
It is insane how much it helps the Cyclones too, but I love this SCV repair. They can repair each other's units too on top of this, so really able to help each other out, but dodging through these corrosive piles, they've hurt the Zerg player. Can they deal with these Marines? That's a lot of Marines.
Man, any Lings here, if they had speed, just to stall out the Cyclones would be so helpful. Drones being pulled kind of do the same thing. The Cyclones have actually run out of room to micro anyways and has given up at the last second.
Very important that he actually picked off the SCVs too, because I don't think he could have actually killed those Cyclones without taking heavier losses if they were repairing the whole time. But Arctur and Awers are not giving up just yet. They've still got a little bit more breathing room they want to try and squeeze in here. And I think I like the idea of the Hellions a lot. Just get in there and cripple the drones. But the Banshee might just do it too. There's no Queen.
Yeah, and the Banshee would be a lot better.
Queen
does
the Hellions
pop
could be so
out.
sick. If these Hellions kill the Marines, there's no anti-air. But he's not paying attention.
Not. Oh, the armor was for.
Oh, because they're looking over here. Well, here's part of the armory. At least a Hellbat's in play. Got Cyclones making it up towards the main, taking the high ground.
Was indeed for Hellbats.
Oh, well, this splits too. Now the Hellions get to the main. Not picking
a
up
lot of
combat
pressure.
shields.
uThermal should still be like feeling okay about it though, because like Elazer has not been helpful in this game since the very beginning. And he's the one that has like a full 2-base, well, not quite full, but like a good 2-base economy.
It's interesting because there's a lot of pressure with very little things. Like it's like 3 Hellions and a Banshee here, 2 Marines and a Banshee there, right? Like 2 Cyclones over here. Still, this has killing SCVs, and uThermal has the extra base, and it's a gold base, so him losing workers is not so bad. But Elazer's been constantly pulling drones. He's losing what few he has left. This is like a role reversal of last game, where at some point, like Elazer's just gonna be feeding uThermal money.
Yeah, it is. And it's something that, like, it's not just a gold base. It is, in fact, not been scouted by Arctur and Awers. They could think that they're actually in a very even position. They had crippled 1 Zerg, so the second base doesn't matter for the Zerg. And then they just look at seeing 1 base for the Terran, too. When really, you know, uThermal should be exploding in production. He has those barracks finished up around the gold base, which, again, they didn't manage to see. And their aggression is going to be stalled out here for a little while. They're going to be trying to build up the rest of their structure, production, or tech. And that's where uThermal should try and get a lot of damage done.
Drop is met with a tank, by the way, so he's not going to be able to get any damage done. A few roaches that are left won't deal with Cyclones, and you know, that +1, nowhere close to finishing. Still, this is a lot of damage through this.
Yeah, I mean, at least he used it for it.
Oh, no, the few drones.
Not sure what happened to them, or they're just chilling there, but they tried to hide, I guess.
Maybe he tried to pull them and it just got weird, I don't know, but Cyclones can easily deal with these roaches. He's actually shift queuing a microing too, so dancing around this, but he is taking losses back at home. Well, Arctur was well defended. Ours, not the case.
Yeah, and with Medivacs, uThermal is almost free to do this damage, whereas at Nidus Worm last game, Elazer was like kind of so committed. He simply hopped over from Arctur's base to ours, and it's done wonderfully.
Man, Elazer is actually super SOL at this point, and this now it's turning into a 1v1 uThermal versus Arctur, and it's 2 bases to 1 for Terran.
He's actually just taking this fight on purpose. I don't know. I couldn't actually tell. He tried to save Elazer's base. It almost looked like he's the one that killed it. That's him trying to save the lair.
It just looks very suspicious.
Yeah, like those were he just left as soon as it died.
I think he did enough damage to ours to really even this up to 1v1. And when it comes down to it, then it's 2 base Terran versus 1 base Terran. 1v1, uThermal's got this.
Exactly. The fact that he had a gold and all that production, I do think it helped contribute to the misread of the game. But Arctur and Awers also probably just saw, you know, they saw an opportunity to win the game. They tried their best to apply so much pressure, work against one teammate but not the other.
I gotta imagine at this point the Lasers just like asked for unit control. Like I can't really. He's not doing anything right now.
Planning on 1 round.
Yeah, at least when uThermal that he had B-holes, right?
Yeah.
No, actually, this is where there might be some saving grace. Hellions could actually be phenomenal. Normally they're terrible against Marines because you A-move them, but hit and running can sometimes be fine. I take that back though. They're already dead, so it doesn't matter. And I think uThermal's going to run away with the game.
Yeah.
GG. Good luck. Good attitude from the players. These two will advance. Amazing Gaming goes to the semifinals. Also, we had a little bit more Twitch Prime love coming at the end of that game, Rob's the Klepto was a resub, but he still used Prime 4 months in a row. And then Wisdom_Games, nice spelling, dude, is a brand new Prime sub. Welcome to the Base Trade Brigade, guys. Good to have you all on board. I hope you're enjoying the 2v2 tournament. Like I said, if any of you guys who are new subs are gonna tell me that you did it because of this, then fuck yeah, we'll do more. But holy guaca frickin' moly zombie grub. Monty, and after all the SFC 1 codes got used up, drops a 110 bomb to the prize pool, making it an even $400 in prizing now.
Dang.
Everyone in chat, round of applause for Monty. That is some sick stuff, dude. I always talk about this guy supporting a lot of different people, a lot of different streams, but he bombed the crap out of this prize pool. And it's a split for the first and second teams only, so 4 players will still get prize money today, and they're gonna be very happy to learn that that's gonna be quite a fair bit. First place at this point is worth $240, so 120 per player. Second place is 120. But we're gonna hop to Nerchio's game. We don't want to keep him waiting too long, so quick commercial break, and we'll see you guys for the first semifinals when we get back.